Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Darby and joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Josh Widdicombe and Miles Jupp, Sean Walsh, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a game called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, what's going on here?
Has the recession hit the Village People Tribute Act?
Is he saying, and in this week's Grand Designs, I've entombed Kevin MacLeod behind this wall?
Is it the worst profile on uniformdating.com?
Has Miley Cyrus just nicked his sledgehammer?
Is he, in fact, has he just bricked over the door that leads to Nick Clegg's office?
Is the caption, under me, Britain faces its biggest problem, and it's the hat speaking?
Is he just going, no, I don't know when it's going to be finished. I normally work in the car park.
He does have that unmistakable NCP look about him, doesn't he?
Is it the Downing Street Fives Court extension?
What is fives?
What is fives?
It's squash with your hand. Oh, God, I've given myself away there.
Could we have the answer? Why this
playing-
week? Why this... Sorry.
Is he playing Scissors Stone Udder?
Why is Cameron...
Is it David Cameron having a trip at the Conservative Party conference?
That's absolutely right. That's who's in the news this week. Well done, Andy Parsons. Yes, this is Prime Minister David Cameron on a visit to a housing development near Manchester during this week's Conservative Party conference. At the conference, a number of high-profile policies were announced. Have you seen any of these policies?
Yes, they have announced that married couples are going to get a tax allowance, aren't they?
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be £200 a year. Yeah? Wow. To encourage couples to spend £4 a week. It's brilliant, isn't it? People going, yeah, walk out, go on, don't turn around now. Come on, eh? There's £2 in it for you.
It literally is a pint. You could just get a pint out of it, and then every week you'll argue about who gets the pint.
You're talking London prices here.
Oh, sorry, of course. If they break into a student bar in Stoke, yeah, hammers for a month.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's going to help the cohesion of their marriage.
So at £200 a year, the average wedding is £18,000. So to break even, 90 years you need to be married for.
Don't go dying on me. Don't go dying on me. I need another 23 years out of you. Come on.
We're not married, Andy.
That was like the weirdest romantic movie ever. Don't you die on me. Don't you die on me, Josh Widdicombe.
Don't I feel the gooseberry?
Who's actually going to be... What decision would you make differently because there's £200 a year?
Well, my accountant advised me to become a Mormon.
Your accountant actually is a Mormon. He just hands out those leaflets all the time.
That was a completely unrelated anecdote.
It is weird because it's social policy, it's social engineering by dangling money in front of people.
He hasn't dangled it in front of people, he's waved it in front of people and said, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. That's what he's done.
What are the policies that they mentioned?
There's a policy for the unemployed, which is it's a great policy. What happens is if you can't find a job, you've got to clean up litter or feed old people, which is kind of offensive to old people that they've said they're the worst two jobs.
What you would need to do, actually, is get one half of the job list to pick up litter and the other half of the job list to drop the litter. And that way, you've got twice as many people busy and you're not robbing anyone of employment.
There is a big issue about the employment of wombles after this.
They've all come over from Bulgaria anyway.
No one wants to be made unemployed. It's a horrible thing. I mean, to be handed a clock and shown the door, especially if you work for Al-Qaeda.
Other plans that the long-term unemployed would pick up litter, and that also that they would... How often do they have to go to the job centre?
Well, every day.
Every single day.
And I think if you're going to go to the job centre every day, you might as well give them a job in the job centre.
And the Help to Buy schemes, in the Help to Buy scheme.
I'm in favour of home loans, but I think it was a bit formulaic by Home Loans 3.
Like he was like 19 or something.
Yeah.
It was like, we're all going off on holiday. Yeah, right, I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
The problem is, I don't think most people understand all this stuff. So I think if you want to appeal to people, it needs to be more simple. Like, I would probably pay a bit more attention if one of the policies was all fire alarms just start off by going, psst, your toast is just a bit burnt. And then I'd go, oh, right, this guy knows what he's talking about. Or if the government made plug sockets higher so you didn't have to bend over as much. Yorkshire puddings with every meal, yes, Graham. This stuff, I just get confused. Too many numbers, too many people. I don't know what's going on.
I look forward to some... Because you...
I thought this was Buzzcocks.
A&E News, who are the government hoping will defend Britain from cyber attacks?
This is the idea that they're going to get geeks, computer geeks, employed by the army to protect us. And let's face it, it's going to change the face of war if it's all cyber war, isn't it? You know, people instead of going, oh, you know, I fought in World War II, Battle of Dunkirk, it'll be more like I fought in World War III, level 5.
Yeah, they're getting hackers to jump ship, essentially, which is like such a naff movie thing that you get the hacker into the room and he goes, you can't pin anything on me. And the guy goes, I'm not here to arrest you. I'm here to offer you a job.
Are these the people that have got excellent password strength? Is that who these people are?
That's society, that's all the time that you've typed it in, that's what it's been doing. It's been wondering how... What? Josh's mum? No. Why you would call her Josh's mum? I have no idea.
We're not very close, we're not very close.
Cyber war films, though, they're going to be dull, aren't they? You know, things like Das Reboot... The Great Alt-Delete Escape. That's not going to be a corker, is it, that one?
Saving as Private Ryan?
Whenever in Platoon, no! I spilled coffee on my laptop!
You just got to do the most difficult things on a computer to win it. So it's like unsubscribing from LinkedIn and finding the hashtag key on an Apple keyboard without having to copy it from Google, which is what I have to do every time.
My name has a little line over the O. My name, my proper name, I professionally have had to dump it because I can't find it on a keyboard. I have to abuse my Irish heritage. I can't. It's somewhere. It's that and that and that, and then that and that. That's good. I'll change my name. It's just easier.
They're meant, aren't they? What's their job? They're meant to slow down our enemy's capacity for cyber warfare.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, simple. Put China on BT broadband.
They said the kinds of things you have to do would get you arrested in the real world, they were saying. But correct me if I'm wrong, that's also true of regular soldiers. You know, I'm thinking specifically of shooting and so forth.
Ordinary policemen know nothing about computers. I don't know if you've been down to PC World.
Why is there extra pressure on some students to do well at university?
Oh, this is because parents can now bet on what their children are going to get. So there might be pressure to get first if that's what they bet on, but also they can kind of come to you and go, you're going to need to throw this exam. I've put the house on you getting a 2-2.
But could you do an exam under that kind of pressure?
I'd worry if the odds changed, like, you know, in football, and then Ray Winston's head would come up.
in the middle exam, and a giant... Oh, bet him play. Not now, Ray. You got that wrong. Shut up, Ray. Shut up, giant floating Ray Winston ahead. I'm trying to do an exam here.
We had a very similar thing at our school, and that was having a bet on who we thought was going to miss out on their GCSEs because they were pregnant. And everybody got it right, Sarah Pocock. So there we go. Not a real name. Not a real name.
Did you make sure of that, Andy?
There's an element of danger of insider trading there.
Quite literally insider trading.
I should have done it with Sports Day. Instead of exams, Sports Day made that more interesting. Loads of parents with, like, houses on the egg and spoon race. Don't drop the egg! Don't drop the egg!
OK, at the end of the round, the point's going to Sean Hugh and Milton! Now we play a round called Can You Smell What the Mock is Cooking? This game involves Josh and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is our stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, let's go. Let's spin the wheel. First topic is childhood. Who wants to come in on that? Josh.
I grew up in a small village in Devon, which was as fun as it sounds. Very little happened. To give you an idea, the most exciting thing that happened in my village was when I was 7. For a brief period, there was a bull in a field. And I was terrified of this bull. I used to walk past him. My dad would go, oh, don't worry about that. He's more scared of you than you are of him. And I used to think, no, he isn't, mate. Bonfire night was the worst, though, because the build-up to bonfire night was just warnings about the way it was going to go wrong. They go, oh, bonfire night's coming up. You're either going to get burnt with a sparkler or hit with a firework. My favourite was on Blue Peter every year. They'd have the same warning that applied to no one in Britain. Every year they go, oh, bonfire night's coming up, and if you do own a pet tortoise... Well, and they go, if you do own a pet tortoise and it's hibernating in a box, do be careful to not absent-mindedly throw that box onto the fire. I don't know how unlikely that scenario is. First, I know no one who owns a pet tortoise. Secondly, how unruly is your bonfire night getting? You go, yeah, just chuck everything on, yeah. Yeah, Guy Fawkes with their shit, show him what I think of him. Go into my houses, get my boxes, don't look in them, throw them on the fire. I don't care that the contents is snoring, throw it on, I told you. 2 months later, you walk around your house going, where the hell is Sheldon? The warnings there were wrong. The warning on sparklers, it'll burn your hands. That happened to no one. The warning on sparklers should be, if you're planning using a sparkler, do be aware you will do the same 3 shapes you did every other year. Zigzags, circles. Go on then, I'll write my own name. That is it every year. We used to have those home fireworks displays when they'd be terrifying. Most people were interested in health and safety. My dad didn't bother with that. He'd just go, well, you know, we've got 6 fireworks, the cat's got 9 lives, we're going to be fine. We'd be firing off fireworks towards the village like we declared war, and then the whole thing would climax with a Catherine wheel nailed to a gate failing to go off. My dad creeping up on it, us going, Dad, you're not meant to go back to a lit firework. Him going, don't worry about that, it's more scared of me than I am of it, it'll be fine.
Thank you very much, Josh Widdicombe. OK, so Milton is left. Let's see what topic he has. Let's spin the wheel. Now, the topic is travel. Where you go?
Strange things do happen. Once, I saw a little green man, and I walked towards him, and he just disappeared, and then I got run over. Kuala Lumpur, that was a bit of a disappointment. I always thought it was a bear crossed with an Oompa Loompa. You know, clingy, but quite hard-working. I was in France recently. I saw this little old lady knitting in the town square. I said, voulez-vous crochet avec moi? She took it all the wrong way. What with the financial situation, I'm not sure Ireland's going to stay afloat. Cork, maybe. 11 days it takes to walk to Torquay holding the hand of a 7-year-old. Well, that's what I thought. It was his birthday treat, but turns out he actually wanted a walkie-talkie. I'm very English, really. I even ordered a book on the internet, How to Have Absolutely Nothing to Do with Your Neighbours. Unfortunately, I was out when it was delivered.
Well done. Thank you very much. Points there. Go to Milton. Come on back. Our next round is called If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Sean, which category would you like?
Go for environment.
Environment it is. The answer is 95%. What is the question?
Is it the percentage of a Domino's pizza left before I think, what am I doing with my life?
If somebody tells me that Mark Darcy has been killed off for the next Bridget Jones book, what are the chances that I don't give a shit?
Does it express 19/20ths as a fraction?
That's not a fraction.
38.
Not 38.
Oh, the other way around. No.
How much of Peter Crouch is limbs?
Is it what proportion of accidents in hand grenade shops are caused by assistants saying, "Can I have your pin, please?"
What percentage of Hawaii's income is made by Milton buying shirts?
Is it express 19/20ths as a percentage?
Is it, if I send a text on the new iPhone, how much battery will it drain?
Is it, how sure am I, Merry Christmas, that this answer will end up in the Christmas compilation?
Is it express 76/80ths as... That's whatever they're called.
Is it, what are the chances I'm going to shove Miles' abacus up his arse?
Is it one of the chances Richard Dawkins will be turned away from heaven?
Is it what rating does Paradise currently have on TripAdvisor?
Is it what looks like one neighbour talking to another neighbour over the fence about the 2 big numbers in his garden?
Okay, I'm going to have to move you towards, if I possibly can, towards the correct answer.
Is it, what are the chances that humans created climate change?
That's absolutely right. Very, very good. Thank you very much. Well done. Josh.
Really enjoyable.
Let's give the exact answer before people start writing in. The question I was looking for is, according to a major new UN report on climate change, how certain are scientists that mankind is to blame for global warming? This is the news that the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has published a report concluding that they are 95% certain that since 1950 mankind have been the dominant cause of climate change.
It's a disappointing statistic, though, isn't it? It's like when you see on a condom packet, these are 99% successful, you know, and you think, well, what happens if you make love 100 times? You know, you're thinking, maybe I need to
Well,
keep
Andy,
count.
someone knocks on your door and gives you a prize.
Are you trying to say that I'm still in the 90s?
It's merely gossip, I'm sure.
Yes, but there's obviously people who won't. It doesn't matter how many reports.
They say sea levels are going to rise, but that's very difficult to check. Because they're constantly kind of doing that.
Yeah, but the ground isn't, Josh. You've
No,
noticed that? There's a fairly easy kind of, like, if you look at the edge of, like, a harbour, there's, like, a wall that gets wet and then dries and then gets wet again. That's...
Yeah, but they're up and down, Dara. They're going up and down all the time.
But they can just measure the highest bit and wait a while and see if it gets higher the next day.
That's why you're a scientist and I'm
They are worried about sea level rising, aren't they? Because
Yes,
apparently East Anglia, if it goes more than about 2 metres, the whole thing is going to go underwater. And currently in East Anglia, they're complaining about all these wind turbines are going to spoil the view. You're thinking, not as much as 2 billion gallons of seawater. They'll be grateful for the wind turbines, then, won't they? Because they'll be one of the few things above sea level that they can bloody cling on to.
I'm on the wind turbine! I didn't think this plan through!
What's the other 5% that might be to blame?
No. It's there is still a 5% chance that it will be.
It's not like
just...
squirrels or something.
It isn't that other animals have been farting out the CO2.
I was just going to ask Miles what the chances are of it not being called.
As a fraction, expressed as a fraction.
Yeah, as a fraction. What would that be, Miles?
Oh, you're looking at, yeah, 7/20 or something like that? I'll be honest, I was quite surprised when you got to the end of that question and it was directed at me, and I may not have listened to some of the words involved in the sentence before my name came up, but I suddenly realised you were looking at me. This keeps happening on this show. You're all talking about, I mean, God knows what. I look up and my dear colleagues are expecting me to join in.
Have you put a bet on yourself to throw Mock the Week?
So what plans are there to possibly counteract this? If this is the case, what's the plans to counteract
A cooling-off period.
What, would you tell everyone just to calm down for a while?
Yeah. In my experience, these things sort themselves out.
And the mirror, have you seen the mirror in space?
A mirror in space?
You build a mirror in space that would deflect sunlight, because the sun is the thing which is constantly going to keep overheating. So you deflect the sunlight away.
Will it face us as well? Will it be double-sided?
What, will you be able to look at yourself in the space mirror?
Yeah, you'll be going out and you go, is the hair all right? Yeah, good, let's go.
Good to go. OK.
And if you break the mirror, it's 1 billion years.
I hope it's like in small squares, so it's like a mirror ball. So that it spins in space.
Ball.
A disco ball. Giant. What did Tesco Supermarket withdraw from sale recently?
The doll of a gay best friend.
Yes, it was a doll of a gay best friend.
So, there it is. I mean, it's not particularly realistic.
It's a third-party seller. So this is the problem with their website open to third-party sellers, but it was removed. The description of the product, I said, if Sex and the City and Will and Grace have taught us anything, it's that gay best friends are in this season.
It said that, didn't it? It said it loves shopping, loves dancing, and it'll tell you how big your bum is.
This, incidentally,
Tara's got a best friend, everybody!
Finally. Why can't I find a fella? I know. You're the same. Oh. We just sit in and watch DVDs together.
Not offensive, is it, really, in any sense?
I mean, I think the gay community, right, they'll be less offended that it's a gay best friend, right? They'll be more offended that any gay person might dress that badly, wouldn't it?
Look at that. Are those boots in right now?
I think you ought to look at the hair on the back of his head.
Yeah.
That is the weirdest thing.
It's his hairy ears I'm particularly impressed by. Yeah. I have never known the gays. I mean, these are people who, like, wax, back, sack, crack, the whole thing, right?
Not ears.
The ears.
Yeah.
The ears? I didn't know there was a thing in the gay community.
While we're drawing attention to things that are not realistic about it, I think it's too small.
And please, don't use my head as a sense of scale. That can be confusing.
At the moment, the gay best friend thinks that Ray Winston's going to give him some odds.
Bet him play. Respectable gay man. Odds have changed all the time.
So did you manage to buy one before it was removed from sale? Is that how you...
Yes, I bought one, then complained, so no one else can have one. He's my best friend and not yours. What's that? I know. Such a bitch.
I think if you had a UKIP supporter drowning, chuck that at him. This will save you. Here's Kevin. No! I don't know what to do. I'm confused.
OK. At the end of that round, the points go to Mars, Josh and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely small lads.
Do you want a larger penis? Beach volleyball tonight on BBC One.
For sale, 400 jars of mayonnaise would suit the sort of person who's not that fussed by best before end dates.
For sale, 1 pack of Polos, unopened. Mint condition.
Sperm donors wanted. Please come quickly.
For sale, horse would make excellent pet. Or pate.
Wanted. Someone to kill my dad, so I have an X Factor backstory.
Lost. Boomerang. Last Thursday. Somewhere... Oh, no, it's coming back to me now.
For sale. Dwarf jacuzzi. Could also be used as a foot spa.
For vasectomies, liposuction and all small cosmetic operations, call Phil, the overambitious tree surgeon.
Cleaning lady. £8 per hour, or until lady is clean.
Wanted. Special lessons.
Do you want your house to smell nice and spice up your sex life? Then why not try Glade butt plugins?
Goodbye, Dad. Rest in peace. And perhaps if you hadn't gambled away all our money, this would be in obituaries.
Wanted. New subject for scenes we'd like to see.
The next topic is... unlikely things to hear on Crime Watch.
The police have said it's OK for the public to approach the gunman as he's sawn off the wrong end of the shotgun.
Hopkins has committed various food hygiene offences, and there is now a bounty on his head.
And now a case of Grand Theft Auto. Someone has stolen the case of my Grand Theft Auto.
The victim was marched to the cash point and made to take out £300. That's the last time he forgets his wife's birthday.
Good night, and remember, don't shave white bears. No, that's not it.
We believe the occult to be involved in this crime. This is the victim's phone, and the last number is 666. Hang on, it's upside down.
Were you at... Wait... Oh, fuck that. Were you at Yates... Oh, my God, that's a different...
Yes.
Walk back in.
Yeah.
Were you in Weatherspoons? Do that one again in a minute, I think.
A computer fraudster this week got away with 9 million Nectar points. Police are looking for a disappointed man with one new wine glass.
Well, that's all we've got time for on Crime Watch. We've talked about some serious things, but don't forget, don't have...
Sometimes victims of crime don't even know they've been robbed because they use the items taken so infrequently. Take Dara O'Brien. Burglars stole his legs 6 months ago.
Were you at Yates's Wine Lodge? Unbelievable. Genuinely unbelievable.
Were you at Yates's Wine Lodge? I don't bloody believe it! I can't believe my bloody eyes!
More info on that post office robbery. They charged me £4.50 to send a parcel second class.
No. This afternoon, £10,000 worth of cocaine was stolen. Can whoever took it put it back in my dressing room?
Yeah, no, I don't know who took it. Yeah. No, I don't.
Well, we hope that reconstruction jogged a few memories. If not, well, we've needlessly shot 4 more people.
OK, the end of that round, the Popular Miles, Josh and Andy! And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Josh Winnicombe and Miles Jupp. commiserations to Sean Walsh, Hughes and Milton Jones. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Going back to his stand-up roots, Dara's on stage in Edinburgh. Watch Crack Dealer on the BBC iPlayer. And fresh from the Edinburgh Fringe, press red now for a showcase of the best up-and-coming comic talent. Newsnight Next has an exclusive report on the surveillance of the internet by the intelligence services.